Parents, if your children or your child is struggling to read, if your children are struggling to read or your child is struggling to read, look no further than the fact that they may never have been taught phonics in their schools. Phonics is the science of sounding out words, and it must be done systematically. There must be systematic instruction. So, for example, here's an article that I wanted to share with you parents that was in the newspaper, and it says, "Kids struggle to read when schools leave phonics out." And the tagline is simple: schools too often leave out a key piece of the reading puzzle because teachers aren't trained to teach phonics. So they're telling you, hey, your child has to get to level M, level N, level P, level Q. How do they get there? Not by reading texts by themselves, but by learning how to sound words out in a systematic way. Because Americans have never done this, because the American schools have never done phonics well, kids are struggling to read, not just your child, but all children. Take a look at these statistics. The percentage of U.S. students who are proficient in reading. Fourth grade is in red, blue is in eighth. Take a look at 2017. Can you believe this? Take a look at this. They're all on the 40%. None of our the majority of our fourth graders and eighth graders are deficient in reading. So this scale shows you what percentage of U.S. students are proficient in reading. The answer is less than 40%. If I had 10 kids in this room, less than 4 of them out of the 10 would be able to read fluently and proficiently. This is why the schools need to change. They need to take the children on a systematic journey back into phonics, but they're not doing that. The title of this other article is Hard Words, Why Aren't Kids Being Taught to Read? And it says clearly, scientific research has shown how children learn to read and how they should be taught. But many educators don't know the science and in some cases actively resist it. As a result, millions of kids are being set up to fail. And if your child is struggling, please don't blame your child. Blame a system that is not taught phonics. At ScholarSkills, that's what we do. We instruct children in a systematic understanding of the rules of phonetic spelling and phonetic pronunciation. Now, let me give you an example of what I mean. I want you to take a look at some of the lessons that your kids need to learn in order to progress in terms of phonics and sounding words out. Because if you're just citing words, how do you cite millions of words in a language? It doesn't work. But structurally, your kids will need to know the short A sound, okay, and the consonants that go with that sound, initial consonants. They need to know specific consonants like D, W, and here's a capital D here, short A sentences, okay? Consonant digraphs, this is blend of consonants, all right? Then we want to take them through digraphs such as SH, sh, or CH, or WH, okay? They need to know how to pronounce those two-syllable short vowel words. I'm going to go quickly through this curriculum that we use, but it is so powerful and so important. Your kids need to know consonant blends like CT, FT, PT, XT. How do those sound in terms of sentences, in terms of words rather? Take a look at this, for example. Do your kids know that long A is the same thing as EI and EIGH? So if I say 8, it's the same thing as saying ATE or EIGHT, 8, because that EI and that EIGH have that same long A sound. Schools will give your kids sight words. These are not sight words. These are sound words with rules. The vowel spellings, AU and AW. Okay? A as in ma and A as in the word car. Take a look at A as in AY and EY. If I say let us pray, P-R-A-Y, we're praying in church or praying at home. If I say let us pray, I'm speaking like a lion, P-R-E-Y. I'm going to hunt some antelope. But you see, A-Y and E-Y have that same long A sound. This is why your kids need to know phonics. They need to understand this. The long E, the long I is in IGH, that might and kite sound the same. Why? Because the KI, the I in kite, is a long I, and the IGH in night is the same long I. Off and off. You get the picture? These are rules of phonics. Look at this. OY is in boy. It's the same as OI is in oil. And this helps your kids to spell also. What is silent H? When does it occur, for example, okay? In words, where's the silent H occur? Y is in short I. These are all very powerful terms that your kids need to know. And of course, the spelling forms. This is a phonics curriculum. And if your children don't get this, they will never learn how to read structurally, and their foundations will always be weak. Don't let your kids go into school citing. Let them learn to sound words out, but this cannot be done by osmosis. They don't catch this overnight. They don't get it by you reading to them. They get it by systematic, day-by-day instruction in phonics, both at our learning center and at home, because we partner with parents. And yes, we're successful, but it's not magic. Why? We use phonics. Now, I want to show you what your kids have to do in terms of reading levels, okay? So this is the famous reading level system, all right? And you may have heard of this. It is the Fountas-Pinnell system. And I'm just going to expand this out for you here so you get to see it, all right? It's the Fountas-Pinnell system. Here's an instructional grade level equivalence chart. So by the end of first grade, your kids ostensibly, according to this system, should be at level J. And at the end of second grade, they go from K to L to M. So by the end of second grade, they should be at an M. That's how most schools will categorize and judge them. At the end of grade 3, you might begin grade 3 to N. You want to get to P right here, okay? That's a level P for grade 3, and then grade 4, so on and so forth, Q, R, S. You see here? So this is called the instructional grade level equivalence chart. If you'd like one of these, email me at ScholarSkills@gmail.com, and I'll send you one of these, or go to our website, www.scholarskills.com, and download a very similar form. But let me give you examples also of what this actually looks like, okay? So what is a level M? Which your child should be, for example, at the end of second grade. Here's a level M text, a sample, okay? You see, finally the day of the play came. The whole family would be there. Some of their neighbors were coming too. Men hugged Freddie extra hard. Mom hugged Freddie extra hard as he left for school. "We'll be there watching you, green kangaroo," she said. After lunch, Miss Gumber called to Freddie, "Time to go now. Time to get into your costume." Miss Gumber walked to the hall with Freddie. So this is a text, for example. One in the middle is the green kangaroo. But this book has sentences of varying length, with some that are long and complex, pages full of print with no illustrations, okay? Small print, chapters with multiple events, characters, setting, and plot that are important to the understanding of the story, and yes, challenging vocabulary. And the student by this time should be able to read text independently and silently while reading for meaning, should be able to read a variety of materials and genres, think about what he or she already knows, ask and answer questions, demonstrate inferential, literal, and critical comprehension through discussion. Hey, this is not easy, okay? Here's a list of level M books, and that's just second grade, the end of second grade. Informational text would look like this. Informational text would look like this. As the years pass, the seasons change. In most places, there are 4 seasons: summer, autumn, winter, and spring. You see, and again, this is not an easy text if your child has not learned phonics. So parents, I beg you, get your kids into a phonics program, whether it's with ScholarSkills or someone else. It doesn't really matter. This is about family, not about selling something. But they need to know phonics, and they need to be able to get to these levels in very fluent ways. So if you have questions, please feel free to contact me directly at scholarskills@gmail.com. I'm Reverend Vieira, and right at the end of this video, I'm going to include some testimonials from parents who've been part of our program and whose children have succeeded in powerful ways. One student, Mackenzie, came in not even knowing how to read. And we took her through our phonics program, and guess what? At the end of the year, she actually is now Student of the Year. I am so proud of her, and I want to be proud of your kids too because they're wonderful. Don't let schools malign your children. Ask the schools, where's your solution? What are you doing for my child? Instead of criticizing my children, tell me, how are you instructing them systematically in phonics? And if it's not happening, you tell the school it needs to get done. And if they're not doing it, come to ScholarSkills, and we will show you and partner with you in how to teach your kids to read phonetically the right way, the only way. ScholarSkills, tell us a little bit about what happened with Sean this semester.
Okay, I have two things to say about ScholarSkills, which is many, but I'm just going to say there's only two things to say. My son was never the way he is now until I brought him to ScholarSkills, and it's been 2 years now that I'm bringing him. I'm going to keep bringing him to ScholarSkills because he has improved so much in his schoolwork. His teacher said that he's doing so well in school. They even told me that you know, keep up doing whatever I'm doing.
That's the point. Now, what do you want to tell the numerator about?
So I just want to say, guys, you got to bring your kids to ScholarSkills because even Pastor Vera, the boys, when you bring them, you feel like your kids is at home. It's not like they're in a school, so the kids feel comfortable being in the area.
And how did Sean do in school for the rest of the term?
He did very well.
Yes?
Very well. He did very well. And my son, you know Pastor Vera, he could not even speak properly. He could not read. He could not write.
What are his teachers saying about him?
The teacher, like I told you, the teacher told me, Mommy, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Because they know that I bring him to your school for the classes. They know that. And they always tell me, just keep doing it. Keep bringing him to the classes.
Bring him to ScholarSkills.
Yes.
We love your family. Thanks so much for taking the time to make this brief video for us.
You're welcome, Pastor Vera. You guys are the best.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye, Sean. We love you too.